Good morning. As you can see, it's snowy and cold as always. Yesterday, I pulled the Escort a little bit forwards and onto a pair of ramps so I could get underneath it and pull the transmission out and the drive shaft. Because the transmission that I put in it was the old 1300 cross flow trans that, well, it was the only trans I had, so I put it behind the 2-liter with 2-liter flywheel, 1300 clutch plate, and 2-liter pressure plate. So I could use the old drive shaft, and that is so frozen. And I only use that just to be able to drive it, because the old drive shaft, the original 1100, because this is an 1100 car, I don't know if you can see inside there. It has a smaller yoke on the output shaft of the transmission. Well, it's a bit smaller than the one on the 2-liter trans, like the one that I'm putting in it. So I'm kind of thinking I can probably swap out the U-joint for a bigger one, or modify something there in order to make it work, or else I'll just have to get another drive shaft. And I also got it up so I could try to let the engine and trans into it, because I know I had a little problem getting the blast engine out, and that was just the engine, and it was stripped all the way down to just a block with the oil pan on it, and that was kind of tricky getting it back out of there. So we'll see if I may be able to let the engine down there today. As you see here, this is the old 1300 trans. And if you can see, here is the old output shaft, the smaller one, and here's the drive shaft with the yoke to fit that trans. I've been trying to take out the U-joint here, but one side broke and the other side's stuck, so I'll have to figure out some way to get it. And yeah, that is a very deep inspection pit. The sign flaw. And forgive all the mess. That's the Fairlane with parts for that everywhere. There's engine parts for the Escort over there, and there's engine parts for the 318 I'm building over there, and the Opel and my brother's Mini, and yeah, there's stuff everywhere. And over here is the 2-liter that is going in the Escort. I can just show you right away. This is the output shaft of the newer trans, and it's a lot bigger. So I'll need a bigger yoke for the drive shaft, or possibly another drive shaft. I've already moved over the transmission crossmember, and since this engine is going to get the injection and turbo later, I have already fitted the oil temperature and pressure sensor for the gauges that I have in the center console. I'll show you that later when I get to the car. Now this is a late 80s Ford Sierra engine, so it had the electronically controlled Weber DFTH carburetor. Basically the only electronic controls on it is the idle and some other stuff, probably choke, I'm guessing. It also had an electronically controlled distributor, so I had to find another older one, which I had lying around, because I took it out of the old engine I had in it, and I put the electronic fuel injection one in on that one. So just put this one in here, hoping it works. I haven't tried it yet. I also had to cut off the clutch fan, because I don't need it. I have an electronic one. And since I didn't need it, I just took an angle grinder and cut it off. There's no use for it. Now I was thinking, you can see this is the old 1100 engine mount, just shortened a bit to get the engine to sit right in there. It probably should be lower in there, because I've heard that you have to modify the oil pan to fit a 2-liter in an Escort. Problem is I haven't had to, because I have about half an inch maybe clearance between the oil pan and the front cross member. So that's fine. It's not too tall, because I can still shut the hood. So for all I care, it can sit there. The angle on trans and everything is fine, so there's no problem, in my application at least. Yeah, here's one of those welding bunks to fit an O2 sensor in the other exhaust, because I already have an O2 sensor in the downpipe for the turbo and a gauge in the car, but I figured I would like maybe have one in there with this engine as well, because I don't know how long it will take before I actually get the turbo set up on it, because I want to get it registered before I do that, so I have it registered as an RS2000 before it gets the turbo, because it's a little bit easier to get it through that big paper mill that is engine swap. So let's go have a quick look at the car. Now, yeah, you can see the grill. I traded that for some other parts that was all missing when I got it, parts I didn't need. Now, this cover is frozen. Yeah, it's frozen stuck to the car, so I can't really lift it without breaking it. You can go underneath it. You'll see the downpipe there. That's a 3-inch all the way from up there to about where the transmission crossmember would be. There it goes down to 2.5, and it keeps on being 2.5 all the way back to that giant riser muffler. It doesn't really muffle anything. And I don't know if you can see up there, there's the Sierra master cylinder. It's got 3 circuits instead of the original 1 that was on it. Now I don't understand why they would have 1 circuit brake cylinder, because if one line fails, everything fails. Now, oh, this thing's gotten torn. I've been going in and out here all winter, and it's gotten real bad. Seats full of snow. Now, in here we have the main wires running from the battery and to the center console. I've laid it up so the battery sits back here, although I'm not sure I'm going to have it back here. I think I just might move it to the trunk. Now, I have a couple of T9s, actually. 5-speed transmissions in here, but I don't think I'm going to use them. I know 5-speed would be probably better, but I'm probably just going to go with a 4-speed. It'll do for my application. Now, here's the center console, or gauge cluster at least. There's oil pressure, oil temp, water temp, and air fuel ratio, and over there is supposed to be a boost gauge. I had to take it out to troubleshoot a Mondeo because I needed it. And over here we got the main power switch, engine start, ignition. With the main power on, it sends power to everything here, all the lights in these, and the parking lights on the car. Fan, electronic fan is currently wired to this, so as soon as you turn this one on, the fan goes on. But I will have that wired to a thermal switch. This switch is headlights, low beam and high beam. Turn signals, left and right, and I don't know if I've wired any of these yet. Yeah. This is heater, and this is for the windscreen wipers. Fuses for everything here. I don't think the two bottom ones are connected to anything yet. It's at least main power, starter, headlights, turn signals, wipers and heater. I think that's the order. Now, this is the plug for the wiper motor. I haven't figured out which wire does what yet, so I haven't hooked it up. But pretty much everything else here is hooked up, apart from the turn signals, because I didn't have any lenses or anything when I was working on wiring this thing. Now, yesterday I went on Facebook and I got a hold of the gauge cluster, which will be sent, I'm thinking was going to be sent today. It's kilometer an hour, speedometer goes to 180, with just the fuel and water temp on the other gauge. So that will be coming in hopefully soon. Now, these buckets are in it. They're actually pretty comfortable for what they are, but it's really cramped in this thing right now. I'll try to see if I can maybe get seated in it. I know it's really dark in here, but what can you do? There's no windows. Well, there's one window on the driver door, and the two plexiglass ones I put in the back. But, oh god, this is tricky. Now, one thing I've noticed is that I like to sit a bit with my feet a bit wide, at least at my body, with my knees sticking out a bit. So this one is a little bit in the way right now, but I'm thinking that's just a thing to get accustomed to. Because I have my foot good for the gas pedal, and the brake is not interfering with my foot or anything, so it's all fine. The brake pedal is really high up. I'm thinking I might have to do something about that brake linkage to the master cylinder, because the clutch doesn't go out further than here, and the brake is all the way up here. I think I may have to get it to move down about there. Would be more comfortable, because, well, I like to left foot brake. I do that a lot, because I'm used to driving automatic lately. So this is going to be a bit tricky doing that, and if I have to have my foot on the clutch and brake at the same time, it's a really long lift. I don't know if you can see, this is my foot on the gas, just at idle, and if I lift it up to there, that's a lot of movement to get up to the brakes. That is going to cost a lot of time. If it's an emergency, so I have to brake, like a collision upcoming, or just braking for a turn, that is a lot of time wasted. So if I could move it down to about there, that would be a lot better. It's just to pop your foot over. Now, I had to bash on the floor to actually get the gas pedal to travel far enough for the injection intake on the throttle body. And, well, now the transmission's also, the stick is not in there anymore, but with the stick in here, I had to put it in reverse. My hand was here, and putting it through first, it was actually fine in first and second, apart from the fact that the handbrake is right here, so I don't think you can put the handbrake up while in second. Well, maybe you could, but you'll have to do the cardinal sin of doing that, which I hate. And third was fine, and fourth, that was just grinding your passenger's knee. So small cars are not cars for people who don't like to touch other people, especially if you have a passenger. I can just solve that by not having a passenger. I just thought of that. I'm a genius, right? Now, here is the flight. God, it's been a lot of snow. Oh, poked a hole in this thing. Oh, well, I have to dry the seats off before it becomes any warmer outside, so this just soaks in. This is the clutch and everything that I talked about earlier. This is the 1300 clutch plate. It's not big, and it was kind of slipping a bit when I was trying it. That's a 1300 pressure plate, a clutch plate, I mean, that it doesn't really have a lot to grip on when you put it on the 2-liter pressure plate and flywheel. Which, well, I'm not going to need it anymore. So replace the transmission with a bigger one. Well, at least it's bigger than input and output shaft. So that will be used to probably just be stored again. I pulled it out of storage last time I used it. In the back here is just a bunch of parts. There's the cam cover and timing belt cover that I painted on the other engine, and the original steering wheel. Actually, that rubber mat is from the Lada that's on the other side of this. Sheet of Lexan. I was thinking of maybe making the passenger door window out of that, but it's not big enough. I have to see what I'll do there, because it's missing the thing that goes up here for having a little quarter window there, and the regular window goes there. I'm thinking I might just have one solid window here that doesn't roll down, but I'm not sure how legal that is. I was told on 80s cars you can't have that, because a friend of mine who owns that Lada, he asked if he could just seal up the windows on the passenger door and the 2 rear doors. You could do it on the rear doors, but not the passenger front door. This is a lot older, so it goes under a lot of older rules. This actually goes under the rules for motor vehicles from 1942. The general gist of them are air-filled rubber tires and electronic headlights and, well, electronic lights in general, seated at an equal height up on the vehicle and width-wise from the center. That is the general gist of safety precautions. So it's not a very demanding set of rules for these things. Well, anyway, that'll be it for now. Unless I can actually get the engine in, then I will add that part later to this video.